Powered by the Montana Television Network. This is the 10 o'clock news on Q2, Montana's news leader.
Good evening, everyone. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Jeanelle Slade.
And I'm Russ. In order to create an illegal immigration deterrent, President Trump announcing plans to impose a 5% tariff on all goods coming into the U.S. from Mexico.
He says in a tweet the tariff will end when illegal immigration ends. The tariff is set to go into effect June 10th, and the president adds the tariff will gradually increase until the illegal immigration problem is remedied.
A statement from the White House says the tariff would reach 25% by October if Mexico doesn't act to reduce the flow of migrants over its border.
Well, President Trump today also had more to say about Special Counsel Robert Mueller's first and possibly last public statement about the Russia probe.
And for the first time, the Attorney General is reacting in an exclusive interview. CBS News' Nicole Killian reports from the White House.
President Trump lashed out at Special Counsel Robert Mueller the day after Mueller said his own role in the Russia probe is complete.
I think he is a total conflicted person. I think Mueller is a true never-Trumper. He's somebody that dislikes Donald Trump.
Mueller said Wednesday he did not clear the president of obstruction of justice.
If we had had confidence that the president clearly did not commit a crime, we would have said so.
The president had a different opinion.
Well, there was no collusion. There was no collusion. Read volume 1. There was no collusion.
In an exclusive interview with CBS this morning, Attorney General William Barr told Jan Crawford he was surprised when he first learned Mueller would not make the call on obstruction, citing Justice Department policy against charging a sitting president.
I personally felt he could have reached a decision.
In your view, he could have reached a conclusion.
Right, he could have reached a conclusion.
Well, I mean, he seemed to suggest yesterday that there was another venue for this, and that was Congress.
Well, I'm not sure what he was suggesting, but you know, the Department of Justice doesn't use our powers of investigating crimes as an adjunct to Congress.
President Trump also dismissed the notion that House Democrats could begin impeachment proceedings against him.
To me, it's a dirty word, the word impeach. It's a dirty, filthy, disgusting word.
The president asked how Congress could impeach him when he had committed no crime. Nicole Killian, CBS News, the White House.
Well, Mueller's comments yesterday turned up the pressure on leading congressional Democrats to start the impeachment process.
Well, it appears former Interior Secretary and Montana Congressman Ryan Zinke would consider returning to Washington, D.C. That news today from the Houston Chronicle. Zinke told the Chronicle that Trump did not want him to leave, and he may or may not go back after the 2020 elections. Zinke left the Interior Department last year after a slew of ethics and policy investigations.
Federal judges ruled in favor of a man who was arrested in the Yellowstone County Courthouse based on his immigration status. Miguel Hernandez was in court to try and help his wife and was arrested after he provided an expired Mexican consulate ID. Today, the federal judge ruled that former Yellowstone County Justice of Peace Pedro Hernandez and Deputy Derek Skinner violated Hernandez's Fourth Amendment right against unreasonable seizure. It happened in 2017 when a witness in the case told Judge Hernandez that Miguel Hernandez and another man were illegal immigrants. After his arrest, Hernandez spent 3 years in federal custody in Washington state before charges were dropped. The Seattle-based Northwest Immigrant Rights Project sued on Hernandez's behalf. Damages have not been determined.
Turning to weather, Bob, the sunshine was nice while it lasted, but tomorrow we are back to raincoats and umbrellas.
I'm afraid today was a one-day only sale for today, but we're going to get some nice weather coming up after that. But let me show you what's going to happen. Right now, let's go right to the watches and warnings. As you see, we do have some that are starting to spread all over the state. Let's go up here and towards the Billings area. As you'll see in the south central part of the state, we do have a flood warning in the Musselshell River near Shawmut. There's a flood watch on the Tongue River at Miles City. That's getting ready to go out of its banks. There's a flood warning on that river as well, on the Tongue River. That's by Bernie. Plus now we also have a flood warning at the Powder River. But the thing we're talking about here is right there in the center of your screen. That's a flash flood watch. Friday afternoon through Friday evening. Very heavy thunderstorms moving over already soggy ground. We're expecting widespread flooding in creeks and rivers and streams from basically the Beartooth all the way down to Sheridan, Wyoming. We'll have more on that in a few more minutes.
All right. Thanks so much, Bob.
Well, for the first time in years, a Frontier Airlines plane touched down in Billings today.
Q2 Samantha Sullivan was at the airport as the inaugural flight turned celebration.
Greeted by a water cannon salute, The Frontier Airlines inaugural flight bringing a nearly full plane from Denver to Billings on Thursday.
It's wonderful. This is a good thing. People that normally wouldn't fly will be taking advantage of this flight. And we're hopeful that it's very, very successful because it's something that the community needs.
The new service will offer nonstop flights to and from Denver 3 times a week, with prices as low as $39 each way. Aviation Director Kevin Plone says the low fares are a welcome addition to the Billings Airport and good news for travelers all across the region.
This is going to change the dynamics of ticket pricing, and so this is really a good deal for basically all of eastern Montana, northern Wyoming, and the Billings area. So this is a good thing.
This new addition, just another piece of what's shaping up to be a successful year at the Billings Airport.
Billings right now is we're seeing a lot of growth in the area, and we're continuing to see that at the airport. We had a record last year. We're on 4% above last year already. Our freight's up again this year. So things are really looking good for the Billings Airport and the Billings community.
In Billings, Samantha Sullivan, MTN News.
Frontier flights will fly Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday.
Now, United Airlines operates 4 nonstop flights daily between Denver and Billings.
And a local closure to announce tonight of a longtime Billings grocery store. The Evergreen IGA at 1540 13th Street West will be closing.
Now, tonight, no official word on why the store will close, but an employee does confirm to Q2 they hope to have everything done and closed within the next couple weeks.
But renovations to the Alberta Bear Theatre started earlier this month. While the theater is closed, management has scheduled shows at 3 other venues in Billings. Crews have been working on the demolition part of the renovation. The Alberta Bear Theatre has raised about $11.8 million for that $13.6 million project. The theater is expected to reopen in the fall of 2020. Until then, the plan is to hold shows at the Babcock Theatre, MSUB's Petro Hall, and the Billings Public Schools Lincoln Center.
The show must go on, and in order to continue to provide performing arts to the community, we will have a shortened season. We felt like we needed to be really responsible, not take a lot of risks in our programming because of the capital campaign, but yet we're trying to offer something to everyone.
And Dietrich says with the shortened season, the theater will put on about 1 or 2 shows per month.
Well, today was the final full day of class for School District 2. So Q2's Jenny Fick blasted into summer with the students at Eagle Cliffs Elementary as they turned their playground into a launch site celebration.
2, 1,
what we do is we make a whole day of bringing our 5th graders out to celebrate, the end of the year. We have a huge rocket display we're going to do.
70 rockets shooting for the stars.
They build their own rockets.
I did my neon green.
We do some things in our science, and then Henry, who does this for us, he does a presentation to them about, aviation and different things, and then, what parts of the rocket they need to make sure is available. They learn about how the motor works.
We learned, about how the shape helps it go up in the air.
We're using the same motors in all of them. The weight of the rocket affects how high your rocket's going to go. Kids are all excited, and it's just a lot of fun.
The blast off is probably the best.
3, 2, 1, blast off!
It's been a long school year, but these students have one lesson yet to learn, one they won't be forgetting anytime soon, and one that may even possibly contribute to future careers.
It shows them that science isn't just a boring book topic, that there's hands-on experiments, and it can be a lot of fun.
It's fun to learn about space and get to learn of who was the first astronaut in space or landed the moon.
We hope that they take it with them and maybe even encourage them to get into some of the science areas as they get into high school.
At Eagle Cliffs Elementary, I'm Jenny Fick, MTN News.
And Jenny tells us you can contact Big Sky Science Rocketry Program to set up your own launch.
They definitely look like they had some fun.
So fun. Coming up on tonight's 10 o'clock news, Billings keeps getting new residents, but they need your help. Find out how you can bundle up some joy for these bundles of joy.
Plus, are you ready for some fun in the sun? We've got the inside scoop for some summertime activities.
And later in sports, the Dickinson brothers square off tomorrow night in Canada. Scott hears from both Craig and Dave.
You're watching MTN News with Jeanelle Slade and Russ Riesinger, Storm Tracker weather with Bob McGuire, and sports with Scott Breen. This is the 10 o'clock news on Q2, Montana's news leader.